Artillery adds dignity to what would otherwise be an ugly brawl. And that was said by Frederick the something. I guess we'll never know. How's it going, guys? It's your boy, 19th Hippie, playing under the pseudonym Buff Artillery, and I'm back at it again with 11th Cav USA, and I'm up against the one and only tmanplays, the second best Warno player in the world after me, and he's playing 79Y, which is one of the sort of new meta divs. 11th Cav, of course, widely regarded as one of the worst divisions in the game. And I was so intimidated by my opponent that I didn't record the game while I played it live. I'm just coming back to watch the replay so that I could use my full power on the game, because I knew that I was playing the second worst division in the known universe after KDA, and yeah, etc, etc. So let's go through the deployments. We're on death row here, and I'm playing as 11th Cav, and I have decided to deploy some scouts over here, and the scouts will unload here, and then the vehicle's going to here. That's a great idea from me, because the vehicle has its own optics, and so there's no point leaving it next to the scouts. You might as well get some additional recon. Then I've got some big girl squad going to here. The big girl squad have security, which means that when they're stood still, their optics go up to exceptional from very good. And in the middle, I have another scouts, and they're going to here. And then I'm reversing the vehicle here. I'm reversing the vehicle so that I can take advantage of its superior less than 1 front armor compared to its inferior less than 1 rear armor. So it's very, very important that I reverse this vehicle instead of sending it forwards, in order to take advantage of that additional armor on the front there. Behind that, I've got some mech rifles law in the M113A3 Dragon, which is a transport choice I completely agree with, because of course this is my game. But it does have bad stealth, which means that when it shoots it gets revealed immediately, and it usually just gets popped. But sometimes it can work. And I, of course, took the decision to unload the guys here and then put the transport all the way back here, and that gives me good oversight over this area. I'm just so good at the game. Moving over to the right, I've got some more scouts, and these scouts I'm deploying quite deep, and then once again I'm taking the decision to reverse this back, even though the armor on the front and the back is the same. I just think it's cooler if I style on people by doing the moonwalk. Behind that, I've got the infamous M1A1 ACAV Abrams tank, which really isn't that good. It's supposed to be 11th Cav sort of Wunderwaffen, but it's only 1 per card thanks to the balance man, and so it's really, I mean, it's decent, but it does not make 11th Cav viable by itself. But yeah, I'm putting it here to shoot anything coming down this road and to give good overwatch here, defend my scouts. Behind that, I've got some dismounted troopers, so this is like a 45-man security squad with AT-4s and lots of machine guns for their small strength. They're basically just like a way better version of the arm rifles law on the UK. And I'm just sending that all the way down here because I'm such a giga chad. I've not even passed an unload order, so they're just going to get down there and sit there. I'm such a giga chad. On the right, I've got a lot of units, and it looks like, obviously I played this game, so I remember exactly what happened. I took the decision to send 3 big girl squads down here. And behind that, I've got 2 Humvee AGLs for fire support for the big girl squads, and so they're gonna sit here and try and provide some fire support for the big girl squads. Behind that, I've got a Stinger, some more dismounted troopers, and Pivads, a supply, an M1CV, and an IHawk. So obviously, the supply is going to here, the Stinger's going to here, the dismounted troopers are also going to here, and the IHawk's going to... I think I forgot to path the IHawk at the start, from what I remember from when I played this game. And of course, Pivad's going to there, and the CV's going to the zone. So I have taken the decision to not deploy a CV for Delta Alpha, and I'm going hard on Echo Charlie. Switching to my opponent's deployment, he's got Razvedka BMP2 coming to here, and the Razvedka BMP2 is of course a very good BMP2 because it brings its own optics, and BMP2s are quite powerful anyway. So he's going to here. He of course is playing a much better division than me. He's got one motor strelky going to here, just to defend that area. One Igla going to here, and the main force is going to attack in Alpha, you see. So he's got Rozvedka BMP2 here. They're deploying quite conservatively. It is, of course, a tracked vehicle, so even though it has the forward deployment, this is another thing I disagree with. Like, why is the stealth on this mediocre when it's bad on a regular BMP2? When I put binoculars on my BMP2, when I put this fancy paint scheme on my BMP2, does it suddenly become more camouflaged? Let me know in the comments. I've noticed you guys haven't been leaving as many comments lately, and it really upsets me. It's making me do worse at my PhD. So yeah, then my opponent, he's got a supply and 2 cubs. His AA, of course, 110 points, self-propelled. My AA, 110 points, plus 20 point transport, not self-propelled. But hey, what can you do, eh? I mean, I've got more accuracy and a bit more range. So yeah, he's opened 2 cubs. Yeah, they're just going to sit here with the supply, and then he's got a BRDM2 going to Bravo Charlie, and then presumably back out into Alpha. And then on the right, another motorized Rozvedka. They're unloading quite early because they're tracked. Motor Strelky BMP, loading there. A 3rd cub, so he really likes his cubs. And that's going to sit back here. So he's deployed all his cubs. And he's got an Igla here. BMP2D is an interesting choice. Oh, actually, is that just what they call it now? Okay, fair enough. I thought this was the one with the grenade launcher, but yeah, it's not. so from what I understand, the PKT actually deals like basically better DPS than the grenade launcher. It changes a bit every patch, and of course they don't report the changes, just like they don't report that refilling the smoke on your tanks costs 200 supply now, which is just absurd and ridiculous, but what can you do? And he's got a T80BV Speedy version, and that's going back here. And the motor strelky we already spoke about. So I'll be casting the game, and I'll be doing it from this perspective, because obviously this is me. And yeah, just give me a second. So yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the generous channel members who get their videos up to a week early, in some cases more, and they get their names on the screen. And yeah, it really gives me the confidence I need to enter the ranked ladder under the pseudonym Buff Artillery, playing 11th Cav, the second worst division in the game, and go up against the, you know, the second best Warno player in the world, after myself, of course. And without the members, I wouldn't have the confidence to do that. But my decision to not cap Delta and Alpha at the start, you know, it may lead to problems in the long run. Obviously, I know the outcome because I played this game, but you don't. So I'm just trying to build some tension for you there. And as I correctly remember, I did manage to get my scouts into the middle here, and then look at me being a Chad, reversing back this Humvee with its equal front and rear armor. So there was obviously no reason for me to actually do that, but it's probably a bit faster because it doesn't have to turn, and the reverse speed is the same as the forward speed. So here I am engaging with my BGS against these motor strelky, and the motor strelky moved, so they didn't get a chance to get their RPG off. And then with my 27 MP5s, I'm going to shoot this motor strelky, and you can see that he doesn't last very long against 27 MP5s. I'm just so good at this game. So then I'm going to fast path my ACAV down here, but I shot the smoke on it, which means that when I run into this guy, I'm not going to have the smoke. And so I changed my mind and decided to reverse, which is, of course, my decision. And so I'm going to send the dismount troopers up ahead here into the jaws of the motor strelky. But I think, from what I remember from playing this game, I think I'll be okay. Oh, no. Yeah, see, I was okay, just as I remember from when I played this game. So then I bought an LGBT, and I diversified this motorized Rozvedka. Hang on, this is really quiet. I'm just going to turn it up. Or maybe it's my volume on my... Yeah, no, it is really quiet. One sec. So, you know, this is the production quality that I know you love. And maybe you can hear the game now. So over here, he's messing me up. My scouts, of course, can't stand against this OP force of 3 times the cost of my scouts, but I can just send the ACAV in, and I do get that with the ACAV there. And then I got that Igla, so I've basically managed to take Charlie, and neither of us have a CV in what the hell was the name? Alpha. But yeah, then the BRDM2 does come in here, so I'm actually going to be at a small disadvantage. But what I could do is send this CV to here, or I could send it to here, so it's all very cool. So I should have recon advantage over that tank, but it depends, because obviously he's got the Razvedka BMP2. And my tank decides to miss and his decide to hit, even though I actually have the same accuracy as him. And remember, I don't have my smoke, and you see that I'm retargeting there because the game is just not very good. So I do manage to get my ACAV out of there, but there's another T80B. Obviously, I'm playing against a far superior division, and so that he's just going to print T80BVs all game. My scouts only have 4 HP, his have 7. And you see that the dragon is sort of paying for itself, but I've got BMD2s behind my lines. I did manage to get this CV in here, and I've got this tank CV shooting. But what I really need to do is get this guy out of here. So I take the decision to drive forwards instead of backwards, because I'm basically just fucked no matter what. So I might as well just be baller. What? I'm just such a giga chad. But yeah, I get caught out by my opponent's ability to simply just sit there buying T80BVs constantly because the game. So I buy this Jaguar 2, which is like a BMD 2, except worse, and and so I buy 2 of them. But yeah, the TOW 2 is better than the Konkurs, so you would expect to hit there. Sadly, my tank CV runs into this motorized Razvedka, and he just starts unloading on me, and then I get a crit. Which is, of course, my skill issue, choosing to get that engine crit. And I pop the smoke, which costs 200 supply, so I'm going to need more supply than this, because this won't be able to heal this up by itself. But I am +4 right now. But my opponent's ability to just continuously buy T80BVs is starting to become a problem over here. So I'm trying to move up these dismounted troopers, and once they get in AT4 range, they do hit, and the AT4 is pretty good. It's got reasonable accuracy. So I buy this C-Knight TOW 2 Cobra, which just dies to everything, but my opponent has just bought 3 Cubs and not that much SHORAD, short-range air defense. See, I know things. And so I'm free to move this here, but in hindsight it was a poor decision for me to put it over the forest, because if I put it slightly behind the forest, then I can change altitude at a moment's notice. And over here I'm trying to get back in here. But yeah, my opponent's managed to advance here, and if he knew how weak I was here, he could have just driven forwards and blown all this up, but he didn't. And to be honest, I could have moved this C-Knight over to intercept, so he would have had to move the Igla up, but he chose not to do that. So here I am, I can now unload my TOW 2s on these T80BVs and stuff, but yeah, they just smoke. And yeah, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of units coming here, and finally the OP Strela 10M's coming in. Which will demolish this. So gotta be careful, gotta be careful. And you see how fast this drains supply. Well, yeah, so you see my enemy just buys a plane to kill this. But I'm just so good at the game that I landed behind those houses there. And that gave me time for the Pivads and the Eyehawk and the Stinger to take that guy out. Sadly, I only carry 4 TOW 2s. But I do get something there. And so I buy the Thunderbolt, but, you know, sadly I've forgotten about the fact that the enemy had 3 Cubs from before when he nailed my LGBT with all those 3 Cubs. So that was a misplay on my part from just forgetting that. I can't remember how I killed this. Presumably it was the Jaguar 2s. Oh no, it was that, right? It was my Thunderbolt. My Thunderbolt. So yeah, my enemy does manage to get back in here, but I think we'll be okay. Sadly, I'm out of TOW 2s, and the BGS don't really have any AT, and I lost the CV. No, it's not that, it's because I drove it out. So I'm just going to drive this back in here. It's even Stevens right now. Death Row, of course, a map where it's very hard to attack, which benefits defensive players like T-Man, much to my detriment. Me, of course, I am buff artillery. But I took the decision to keep my C-Knight in the fight, and I lost my Humvee there to this motorized Rozvedka, and my C-Knight got hit by the Iglov, despite its 10% ECM, which is a shame, but, you know, I guess skill issue. And I'm back to a +2, and then I actually lose the C-Knight, so it fires twice, and it hits twice. I mean, he's got high accuracy, but, you know, it's not very fair, really. I don't think it's very fair. But it is what it is. And so I take the decision to drive my CV tank out for some reason. I can't remember why I took that decision. And so then, you know, then the +2 goes. So I'm not quite sure why I took that decision, because, you know, I could literally just park it back here. But for some reason that I can't remember, I took the decision to just drive it out the zone for a few seconds. So I buy another C-Knight, because why not? Let's get this one killed as well. And my Jaguar 2s are doing quite well. But honestly, playing this division is like playing with both hands tied behind your back and trying to kick people to death with 1 foot. So, if you don't believe me, try it. You don't have to take my word for it. Just try it. So, you know, I'm playing the game of my life here, and then I remember that I should drive this back in. So I'm back up to a +2 against a far superior player on a far superior division. But once again, my C-Knight just gets one-tapped by this. You know, this has 45% accuracy, I have 10% ECM, but apparently my enemy, I don't know, he has the blessing of Darix or something. Pretty sure Darix just opens up the console every time he sees me on Steam and just, you know, sets all my ECM to like -50%, so that everything hits me all the time. So then I take the decision to drive out of this zone again, thus losing my +2. And then I change my mind again. I'm not quite sure what has driven me to do this. Of course, I'm playing the game of my life here with a far inferior division. And then there you go, so his 45% accuracy cub hits first time. My 75% accuracy ACAV misses his 45% accuracy cub, but, you know, it is what it is. Over here, I finally hit something, and then I popped smoke, even though I was winning that fight. So I can't remember why I did that. That was a bit silly of me. But over here, the mech rifles are slowly grinding away against the motor Strelky, and you see that he's just ran out of ammo, and I've not, so I will win that fight. So he just runs off. And yeah, so I tried to send my dismounted troopers to shoot this, but, you know, I died to TATBV spam. And the smoke has faded, and I've not got it back, and so I'm just fighting the same fight I was fighting before, but later. And so I buy another LGBT, but remember, he's still got these 4 cubs, so I buy a seed as well, and the seed actually hits something for once in its life, so that was actually incredibly surprising. Words cannot convey my surprise. And it, of course, has 40% accuracy. But, of course, I'm not surprised, because I played this game, so I remember that this happened. And here I am just doing this cool maneuver armored push here. And once again, I drove my CV out of the zone and back in again. So I'm doing this super cool armored push here because, as you know, my tank micro is really good. Sadly, I'm getting shot in the side by BMBD2. But then I kill that with my skill. But look, he's sending this guy over here, and I don't have my smoke, so he's probably going to kill me. But I managed to stun him because I'm so good at this game. Over here, Saperi RPO, of course, don't have AT, so I'm able to just do this. And so he buys an SU-25, and I don't have any AA here with my push. I don't have any pivads or anything, which was a mistake. And you see that cub got hit by, like, this guy through there. My Eyehawk misses because it's my Eyehawk and not his Eyehawk, and now the smoke's going to fade, and I'm going to get messed up by this, from what I remember. So it's basically Jova for me, but I thankfully have this CV back here. So, you know, I tried attacking on death row in the middle point, which is just never a good idea. But my Eyehawk hit something after all my units died, so that was cool. And yeah, so I'm still on +2, and my Eyehawk hits again. So that was major skill from me. So yeah, that's just the issue. If you attack in an exposed place like this, you pop your smoke fades straight away, takes 200 supply to refill. You basically always got to bring a supply truck with you when you attack. So I decided to send out my LGBTs again, even though, you know, my seed got wounded. But yeah, I'm a Giga Chad, so my LGBTs, of course, don't do anything because they're the F-16 one, which doesn't have as big bombs as the other ones, which is, you know, at least it comes at 2 per card, from what I remember from when I played this game. So I put him to low cohesion, but, you know, my 65% accuracy missile still misses, so that's a skill issue from me. Over here, he's basically got nothing left, so I can just blow up his CV. So I get that, and then I sent my guy around here, but I am starting to run out of fuel. Fuel costs have come down, so that's something at least. And now I've finally started deploying the Marder 103 Milans. But yeah, my ACAV's just going ham here, constantly retargeting and never firing its main weapon, which is what it is, right? That's just how it goes. And once I get to here, I'll be able to start shooting these guys, stop them from coming back in. So I'm now on a +4. And I'm going to send these guys back here, even though I just saw these 2 T-80 BVs blow up my Jaguar. So that was a bit of an issue from my part when I played this game. And I forgot to resupply this guy, but now I'm going to get them both resupplied. I might actually need more supply than that. So I unload my Marders early, and then I start losing them to T-80 BVs. So I pop the smoke, but you see that because they've got 5 armor, they can survive a lot. So I managed to take these houses back for what it's worth, but I can't fight these tanks, so I'm just going to get shot in the house. So I bought this M1A1, and I decided to buy more aircraft into all these Cubs and Iglas and stuff, but to be honest, all the Cubs are dead, so that's why I took the decision to do this. But sadly, I am lacking infantry in Charlie. Keep in mind, I'm playing the 2nd worst division in the game after KDA. If you want to see a game of tmanplays versus KDA, that was played by me as well. I was the KDA. I'll link it in the description. So, yeah, predictably, I lose these 2 Panzergrenadier Marders, so I'm really not sure what I was thinking there. Because I saw the tanks, and then I just kept going forwards. And of course, you know, he fires 3 Iglas and hits with all 3 Iglas, even though they have 55% accuracy. Then he fires this with its 50% accuracy, and that I evac before it gets a chance to hit me. Over here, I took the decision to show pouch in the front building, and nobody's gonna get that one. And yeah, so now I'm getting hit by the tank, so I really need to be in this building. So I did that, and you see that I'm losing a lot of units now. Things are starting to fall apart because I kept attacking even though I had the tick, because I wanted to have fun. This game isn't about having fun, it's about having fun for 5 minutes, and then when Derek sees you having fun, he nerfs whatever you were just doing. So now I'm doing some cheeky retargeting over here, and then I popped smoke. Sadly, my micro was a bit off here, so only one of my tanks could shoot at once. So now I re-micro, and bam! And I don't kill him, and then bam! And I do kill him. And then I get another crit. Because I'm just so skill issued at this game. Over here, I sent a tank down here, and I'm just sort of throwing good money after bad and constantly losing all my units. Now I'm going to lose these 2 supplies. So that was a bit of a skill issue from me. I'm not sure why I kept doing that. And I bring up the pivads to get some fire support, but without recon, I can't see them even though they're right there, and they haven't moved. So I decided to buy the F-16AA, which is like a worse version of this, but more expensive. I'm actually not joking. It's slower. It's got less missiles. It's more expensive. But, you know, that's the division I play. That's why it's not a very good division. So I'm pivads in the hell out of that guy. And I do manage to get some shots off on him, but I obviously don't kill him. So yeah, I'm still +4 with 3 minutes left. But my front line has kind of got big holes in it. I keep buying these planes, and then flying them into AA and having them repair for 10 to 20 minutes. But you know, I just love buying planes so much. And when the scout went down, which of course it did to the indomitable Igla, I can't actually see any of these units anymore. But I didn't immediately evac my Thunderbolt because I wanted to bring it around here and shoot this. So now it's back to +2 for me, because I am buff artillery playing under another name. And my Pivads is doing really good work here, shooting these guys and then losing visual immediately as soon as they walk into a building that I saw them walk into. So I'm going to try and kill that CV tank because I can actually see it with my mech rifle's law. But there's lots of buildings in the way, so I can't remember how this goes. So I do manage to miss all my missiles and my guns. And then get hit by the enemy Strela one-tapped. So that's just because, you know, skill issue. And, yeah, so that was obviously a big shame that both of my Mavericks missed and his missile hit. That's just because I'm bad at the game, clearly. So what I'm going to do now is send this ACAV out and shoot, and then get a side shot and not actually kill it because his tanks are just way better than mine because of Mr. Historical Accuracy. So I buy an LGBT and attempt to diversify him, but I've lost visual again. I can't actually see him. But now I can see him because of this guy here. So I drop the diversity, and I do successfully diversify that guy. But it's going to take a while for this zone to un-recap because Derek's messed with the thing again and now it doesn't work properly. But that will put me on a +4, and that will put my victory down to like 1 minute 50. So my opponent buys another BRDM2 here. And this Strela, you know, every time it shoots, it kills something, except that time. But yeah, you see it got it there. And for some unknown reason, I drove a CV car up to here. I'm not quite sure why. I don't remember why I did that. But you see, you know, I'm starting to run out of stuff, and my opponent can just continue to buy T80 BVs for the whole game. And BMD2s for the whole game. So, you know, it is a shame, but that's the price I pay for playing second worst division in the game after KDA. Oh man, I got that wrong. After, so the fourth worst division in the game, after first UK Armoured and second UK Infantry. Then it's KDA, then it's 11th Cav. So I'm gonna have to change that. I'm gonna have to go back in the edit and change that. But you see, you know, my opponent, very disrespectful, just playing down the clock. He's got no chance of winning. It's just he's so embarrassed by losing to me on this clearly inferior division that he's just being very disrespectful, not surrendering. Because even if this does get here, well, actually, right now it would actually neutralize the zone because for some reason, once again, I've driven my CV just outside the zone. But yeah, I bring in the LGBT again, and I'm going to drop it on this guy. It's probably not going to kill it. See, because I remember, because I did that. And on the left, I killed a T80 BV without even looking. And now I bought some A10 rockets. I'm just trying to keep this tick going for another 30 seconds. And so I drive back into the zone. He's low cohesion, so I should hit, but I've lost vision on him. And then I accidentally drive out of the zone a little bit here. And yeah, I struggled to hear myself over the roar of the A10. Brrr. But yeah, I did get that T80 BV, and I did hit that cluster 2 thingy, and I did leave the zone with 4 seconds on the clock. But because Derek's broke the CV cap thing, it's actually gonna level off at 1999. So that's the end of the game, guys. Looks like I actually lost after all that, and I'd like to So yeah, we find ourselves going through the kill list here, and I just played a really tight game. I did a really good job with my M1 A1 ACAVs, and I did a really good job just with the LGBTs. I sniped all his cubs, kept sniping his AA with the LGBTs. And, you know, I was against a much better division, but in the end, I just pulled it through. So, yeah, tmanplays, rank 2 player behind me. Of course, I'm the ranked 1 player. And, because you know this is me, because when you click on me, it comes up with my profile. And now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, hey, Hippie, it says that you have 0 ranked games with NATO. So how is it possible for you to have